This was over in East Boston, and they were repairing that tug, so they asked me to go and help them. So we had a couple of guys over there working on it, over in East Boston. And that particular tug, so I'll tell you what it is. Remember they made a canal into the Great Lakes. This was a tug that led the way, it said. So it's supposed to be a famous tug or something. That's why they were trying to save the ship.
Oh, and the tug got damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're catching eels and flounders, and my brother and I sitting there, my father got us drop lines. And it wasn't until years later that I realized he gave us drop lines, but no bait. Because he really didn't want us to catch anything.
How come?
He wasn't a fisherman.
Oh, no.
We were so little, we were happy standing there with our little slimy little pieces of rope.
You start off at the pictures. That's years ago when I was young and handsome. But now I'm my old sailboat.
How old are you now?
Oh, I'm 93, I believe. I just had a birthday.
How are you feeling?
Very good.
Tell me about why you like building ships.
Well, it was a job, and that was the first job I ever had, and I enjoyed it very much. And so it's an interesting work, you know. But of course, there's no boat building now. Nobody builds them anymore. But it wasn't too long ago, everybody used to build them in their backyard and everything, you know. The Spirit of Massachusetts was, I worked volunteer on that, and it was all volunteer people.
How did you hear about it? Did they have an announcement they wanted people?
I was over there one time, and I see them building it, and I was talking to the guy, and he says, yeah, these are all volunteers, he says. And the first thing he says to me, he says, we need someone to build the stairs. You know the build the stairs? So they wanted to build stairs to go up, and so you can look at what they were doing, because he wanted all these young kids to come and see it all. So they give me another guy, we built the stairs. And so I used to go in there every weekend and work with them. It was very interesting. I grew up in South Boston. Quincy Adams, yeah.
Yeah, what was that like?
That was building the minesweepers. And we had about 400 guys working there. It was in 1960, I believe. And that's one of the minesweepers there. I worked right from the start. We were laying out the keels of the boat, and then gradually we hired a lot of guys and finally built it. Because you need a lot of guys on a ship like that. It's all carpenter skill, yes.
Yeah.
It's mostly using planes and not hammers, but use electric drills and things like that.
How did you learn it?
Oh, years ago when I was a kid, I learned it building small boats. These are all like 20-footers and 30-footers, you know. I went to work for this small shop, boat building shop, and all these, they had 4 carpenters there. There's all expert boat builders, you know. And we used to build the boats upside down. See, we had a farm, and we'd build a boat on it, and then we'd tear it off the farm, but I was the only apprentice there. I was an apprentice, and any time the guys were doing something different, they'd show what they were doing and everything, you know, and why they were doing it that way, you know.
So you learned a lot just on the job.
Right.
What brought you down to Whitman?
Oh, I used to live in Weymouth. It was a brand new house, and I got it cheap, so I moved down here. It's sort of out of the way, but at the time, I said, well, what difference does it make? So, well, Brenda comes and brings me food every so often, and does the cleaning around the house and everything.
How do you spend your time?
Oh, working on the computers and fooling around, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
At 93, you're working on the computers?
Oh, yes.
What he does is read the Patriot Ledger.
The good thing they have it on the iPad, you know, and you can read every story on it.